Hi everyone, back for another doll video, and today I thought I would do an interesting video that I've never done before. At least I don't think I've ever done anything like this. Pretty sure. But I got to thinking about these two dolls that I'm showing you now. So the story behind these is sort of the topic of this video actually is finding something at a thrift store years ago and then finding something that goes to it at that same thrift store years later. So for example, I've always wanted a Megara doll. That's why the reason she looks bald and stuff is because I found her at the thrift store with a haircut. So I'm in the process of rerouting her hair with nylon. So that is her. I've always wanted a Megara doll. I always wanted one because I loved her in the movie Hercules. I watched the movie Hercules religiously as a kid. I had some of the McDonald's toys, stuff like that. But Megara was so fast, like the Mattel ones specifically. And Mattel Disney dolls in general in the 90s and 2000s fascinated me to begin with because it was like Disney Barbie dolls, essentially. Because you had a Disney character on a Barbie style body. And that's what this is. Like, this is actually a Barbie doll body. They just don't have the printed on underwear on her. So, but yeah, this is a Barbie body, the twist and turn waist, bendable knees, everything, the same sculpts, just with Megara on that body. So yeah, I always wanted her. I was always intrigued by her. Especially her face mold. I thought her face mold was so interesting. Now, was her face paint that nicely executed? I don't think so. Like the mouth, the eyebrows, the eyeliner, and the eyeshadow, that's all fine. She's got blush too. But it's just the irises. The irises and the pupils and everything. I don't know. I feel like that could have been executed better. See, I think this eye is fine. This one's just kind of neutral, but this one, she's kind of, it's almost like this eye is going off that way, like she's looking at you here, but this eye is looking off to the other side. So I don't think her iris placement was the best, and I think maybe they should have made her pupils a little smaller to give her that more sultry, like she had in the film. But it was the 90s, so they were doing the doe eye sort of look. So, but nonetheless, I was very, very fascinated by her. And I always wanted a Megara. They also have one with like an open smile as well. I think this one is called Fashion Secrets Megara. So yeah. But long story short, the dress is what I got first at that same thrift store. So it was like 2015. I think I made a video. If I find the video, I will link it. This dress was on an Ariel doll, a Mattel Ariel. I think she was the Mermaid Princess one, I believe, from 97. And so that Ariel doll, I had originally found her wearing this dress. If I'm not mistaken, I think I did. Sorry to clear my throat. But the weird thing about that is that I found this Megara doll so many years later, and then I just got thinking, I was like, what if this was the same Megara doll? And she had just been floating around the back storage of the thrift store maybe they were reluctant to sell her because her hair was chopped or something, and they just couldn't make up their mind. Then they eventually bit the bullet and threw her in a baggie with other dolls. But I'm like, I couldn't help being the fact that I got both the dress and her at the same thrift store, but like years apart. Like, I got her last year, and then the dress I got in 2015. So it's almost like 10 years apart. It's crazy to think 2015 is 15 years ago. Or not 15, 10 years ago. I was thinking 2015, but yeah, 2015 was 10 years ago now. That's crazy. But yeah, I found her dress, and just hoping that one day I would get a Megara. I kept looking online, and I hadn't bitten the bullet and bought one yet, because usually they were like $15 for a nude one, or sometimes $20, something like that. So, but this one, I got her for around $1.50 maybe. And then the dress I got for even less than that. So, albeit her hair was cut, but that's what rerouting is for. So that's what she's currently going through. But I just could not help thinking. I couldn't help entertaining the idea that this was her original dress that I got all those years ago, and then I finally got the doll that goes in the dress. Like, maybe this was the dress that was on her when she was in the box. But who knows? Maybe it's not, and her original dress that is exactly like this one is floating around out there somewhere. But I just couldn't help entertaining the idea that, what if this is her dress? And I found them. And then the weirdest one, the most strangest one, was this one. So I think this is the Mary-Kate doll from New York Minute set. I think it was a movie or something. The only thing I know about Mary-Kate and Ashley was It Takes Two. That was one of my favorite movies. And then I know they had a lot of DVDs and like movies and stuff and VHS. And they had I think they had a TV show as well. But I was mainly a fan of the It Takes Two movie, and that's what I watched. Of course, I would see loads and loads. Every time I would go to a thrift store, you couldn't escape Mary-Kate and Ashley in the VHS and DVD section. Like, that was always there. That was always present. But like, I knew they had dolls, especially whenever I went to church. It was like Wednesday, it was like on a Wednesday, and we got to go, and they had like a band there, and it was just to sort of have fun sort of thing. And they had a band, they had like basketball hoops inside, and then us kids, there was like a playground out back, and then there was this gymnasium area where they rolled out this colored paper and let us draw all over it. So that's what I wound up doing, was just playing in the playground and drawing on the paper. But yeah, there was a girl there that had two Mary-Kate and Ashley dolls, and I was intrigued by them, so I knew of their existence. But fast forward to 2013, I found my first one at that thrift store, which was the Ashley doll that belongs in the same set as this one. So I actually found Ashley first. Decided I didn't want her because I thought she was very homely, and I hated her earrings because her earrings like were flesh toned as well, and they blended in with her skin tone, and her makeup was very neutral. I just didn't care for her. But I wanted a Mary-Kate and Ashley doll. But eventually I wound up giving her to my niece. So I considered this my first one because I didn't keep the other one. This wasn't the first one I found, but this one was the first one that is mine that I decided to keep. But that one I had given her away. And then fast forward to last year, or was it the year before, When I found her, I can't remember, but it was very recently. I had found this doll. I had found her in a baggie, like in a bundle with some other dolls. There was a pajama party. Was it pajama party or pajama fun skipper? She was the one that came by herself. There was the tote bag set where Barbie and Skipper came together, but then there was the regular one. But yeah, she was in a baggie with other dolls, and I didn't know that she was. I didn't know that she was from the same collection. I was like, ooh, a Mary-Kate and Ashley doll, and she looks really cool. Like she's got two-tone hair and lip liner. She's really cool looking. Turns out I have a Mary-Kate and Ashley. This is actually Mary-Kate's top from a different set. I think, oh god, what's the set called? Movie Magic, or I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but that is a Mary-Kate top, and this is a Mary-Kate doll, so. But then I had discovered, I got her identified online as New York Minute Mary-Kate, so that's whenever I started putting the puzzle pieces together with who was who. Like, Mary-Kate comes with the open mouth smile, and Ashley has the closed mouth smile. So now I know how to tell them apart. Then I discovered that this was a Mary-Kate top. But the crazy thing is whenever I saw her in the box, there was the Ashley doll that I had gotten rid of when I went online and looked at pictures of this doll. And then I looked at the Ashley doll and I was like, huh, that one looks familiar. Then I zoomed in and I saw the earrings and the makeup, and I was like, holy crap. That is the doll that came with this one in the same box. And I found her twin. I found Mary-Kate years after at the same thrift store that I found Ashley at. The Ashley doll that goes to the same set. So, those are just two examples. I just thought I would talk about that. And the same thing had crossed my mind, like maybe this Mary-Kate doll is just old stock that they had gotten in, and maybe she got lost in the warehouse or something in the back, and they eventually found her and put her out. But yeah, that just kind of baffled me a little bit. I was like, she's literally the other doll that came in the same set, in the same box, with the Ashley doll that I got rid of, that I found at the same thrift store years ago. So I don't know, I just thought that was a very, very interesting topic to discuss. If any of you have ever had this happen to you before, we'll leave it in the comments. I would like to hear about it. But yeah, it's crazy that this happened to me twice. You know, whenever I was looking at these dolls earlier, I had found Megara's dress because I was looking for it, and I didn't know where it was. I thought maybe I'd put it back on the Ariel doll because it does go nicely on her with the purple and everything. But I don't know, I was going through other dolls trying to find some doll or whatever, and then the dress just kind of fell out of nowhere. I don't even remember. And I was like, there's her dress. And so I went in my drawer with all my Reroute project dolls, and I got her out and I put her in her dress. And then that's when it hit me. I was like, wait a minute, I got this dress at the same exact thrift store that I got the doll from. Just way farther apart. So yeah, then the wheels started turning in my head, and then I thought of this doll too, and then I was like, oh, I have to talk about this. I have to show this because it's freaky. And the fact that it happened twice. Like, yeah. And another weird thing had happened. So I also have... Sorry, my room is a mess. But I have those two wedding Ariel dolls here. So yes, I have these two wedding Ariel dolls. I made a video of her, though, because I got Ariel doll heads and a lot from eBay. And I think I had said in that video that I had really wanted an Ariel, wedding Ariel, for a very long time. And then I finally had her. And this was a head that was... I think she did have a neck joint still stuck in her head, so I got a free neck joint. But she didn't have a body, so I had to get her new body. And I had to detangle. Her hair was severely matted. She was really dirty and nasty, but she had both her earrings and everything. I was like, oh my god, I finally have her. I've wanted her for so long, and she was a pretty good deal. Since she was only a head, I think I paid $2 for just her, not her body. And her earrings, of course. She had her earrings. But then shortly afterward, I went to that same thrift store. And I found her. I found the actual doll. I was like, I have been searching for this doll so long, and I finally bite the bullet, get her online. And then I just walk into a thrift store, and there she is. Like, right after I got her, not like the day after, but like shortly after, I got this Ariel doll. Finally, in my collection. That's another thing I've noticed. Like, if I finally... A lot of times if I finally get a doll, like one of my grails or something, I've noticed that the dolls become easier to find. Like, once I finally get them, then that's when I can find them. After I've already gotten the doll. Like, after I've gone out of my way to buy that doll and add her to my collection, then I wind up finding that doll over and over and over. And it's like, oh my god, I could have... Why now? I could have just walked into a thrift store years ago, and why couldn't this have happened back then? But yeah, no. I'm glad to have two, though. Two is better than one. And I got dresses for them to wear. This one even still had her ring. So, yep, she still has a ring. She is missing one of her earrings, though, but I'm not too bothered by it since I have one that has both her earrings. And this one, even her hair is like super, super thick, too. I think both of them have really thick hair. Yes, they both do. But this wedding Ariel is one of my favorites because she has very frosty makeup. And her eyes are still the same, like turquoisey blue. I thought maybe they were more of a sky blue this time, but no. They're the same standard color that Ariel has. They're showing up sky blue on camera, but they're actually more teal, turquoise looking. But yeah, she's got a lot of hair. Very thick hair. She cleaned up very nicely. She wasn't that hard to fix up either. Dirt and everything scrubbed off her face beautifully. And then this one, of course, has really, really thick hair. Let's see. Yeah, so that is how thick her hair is. And this is my favorite hair for Ariel, this really bright red. This is what I remember. Some Ariel dolls actually don't, like early Mattel ones. Yeah, here we go. So some earlier Mattel dolls actually do not. And I'm talking specifically about the ones with this face, with this screening. there's some of them that actually don't have the super bright hair. Let me see if I can compare it. So there's the wedding Ariel. This is just your standard basic Ariel that you could have gotten back then in the slim box. Wha-bam. Look at that. This one has darker hair than that one. This is the hair that I remember, the super, super bright red hair. And then I encountered this one. I found her at a different thrift store in 2017, I believe. And I was thinking that her hair was off or something. I was like, it doesn't seem as bright as it should be, but maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. But no, they in fact released, I don't know if there's a different variant of the wedding one that has darker hair. I know they re-released the wedding one with a different screening, and she came by herself without. This specific one came with Prince Eric in a big set, and then they re-released Ariel by herself with a different screening, but she basically had the same dress on. But yeah, that is the color difference in the hair. But of course I prefer this, and I absolutely love her frosty makeup. I can't get over it. But yeah, and then eventually they switched over completely, and her hair was this color, so more of an orangey. This is actually like, I think it's like that red, and then there's like a natural ginger red color mixed in. So they did like a two-tone combination. And I don't know, this just looks, compared to this looks very dirty and dusty looking, sort of red. I don't know. Even when compared to this one, her hair is still very vibrant, and this one just kind of dirty, looking like maybe she fell in the mud or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's not her body either. She was one of the other heads that I had gotten, which this was one that I used to have as well. Yeah, I thought I'd mention that. And I think that's all I wanted to talk about, was just how crazy it was to find one part of a doll years ago, and then years later find the other half. So with Megara, it was her in her dress. With Mary Kate and Ashley, it was, I found Ashley first, and then I found the exact doll that she came with years later, which I don't have Ashley anymore, but maybe I'll find her again, you know. Maybe I'll buy her online. I don't know, because I kind of want her to have her sister, so we'll see. But I really do love this doll. I'm usually not a huge fan of like realistic face molds on fashion dolls, but I think the Mary Kate and Ashley dolls, they're okay. I think they did it tastefully. I don't know. Like, they don't look super uncanny or anything. They still look like fashion dolls. Like, they kind of still have that Barbie doll look to them. Yeah, you can tell she was played with, because yeah, this is something a lot of early 2000s dolls suffer from over time, as their arms will get loose. Really common with Indonesia ones, and this one is an Indonesia-made doll. Yeah. 2001 Mattel Incorporated, Indonesia. Notice they don't do Incorporated anymore. They don't print that on the back anymore, or on the back of the heads. The head is 2002. But yeah, she does have two-toned hair. It's giving Avril Lavigne, which I'm obsessed with. I like her skin tone. She has bendable knees. Like the body type, her hair is saran, and it is... Let's see the thickness. Yeah, she's got a decent amount of hair. Oh, wow, that's not a missing plug. That's just a gap. Oh, wow. I thought maybe there's a plug missing, but no, that's just a gap. But whatever. She's got a lot of blush, too. Very 2000s. Very 2000s makeup. And I'm living for it. So, yeah. Anyhow, I'm going to stop rambling. Rambling is what I'm good at, so... But I talk people's ear off on here all the time, so... I'm sure, you know, of course, I get tired of listening to my own self, like my own voice, so my own self-speak, so... But people say that my voice is calming, so I don't know, I don't see it. I find my voice annoying, so... But anyhow, apologies if you don't like listening to rambling, but it is what it is. So anyhow, thank you guys for watching. More videos to come, and remember to stay true to you.